Clean feet, holy feet. This morning we have brighter weather. I am making the journey with others from Belgrade to the border with Croatia. As I travel along, I always hear new life stories. The fields are brilliant white, and the sun begins to shine weakly through the grey stories which have been covering the skies for the last few weeks. The rays of sunlight illuminate the snow, which has come as a surprise to everyone, both locals and foreigners. It truly is a beautiful day. After a few hours, this same day begins to wear itself out, maybe much more quickly than other days. Almost without time enough to finish preparing the soup and the tea, the saucepans are shared around, one after another. The hungry, exhausted people pass their time inside the tent. I try to keep things clean in this place where we distribute the food from table to table. There, in the middle of the crowd, I make eye contact with a weary face in pain, a young face. As I look more closely, I realise why it is aching. Its feet are damaged, wet and chapped as a result of spending so many days on the damp road, from the waters of the Greek Sea to this unexpected snowfall which has covered Serbia today. I am overwhelmed with compassion for that young man, and I ask myself how many similar expressions I would like to change for beautiful smiles. I decided to look in the first aid kit. I took out some gauze, baby wipes, paper tissues, and dry clothes. As I went back into the tent, the people, men, women, and children looked at me, hardly believing what they saw. Cleaning the wounds and conserving that spirit of help and respect for every human being, surrounded by the crowd who no doubt were wondering at what they saw. A Christian woman washing the feet of a Muslim man. Those holy, clean feet. Those feet that enter unshod into those huge mosques which have been left hundreds of kilometres behind. The young man, startled by my boldness in taking his feet, resting them on my lap, with laughter and an expression of surprise. He who now, with clean feet, treated by those hands, was able to sense gratitude, a deep gratitude. I could see how that suffering face now began to give a hint of a smile. Now he would no longer be the same young man. He would become someone who is aware of the consideration and love that can be given and received. Then other young men and women started coming towards me, seeking help for themselves too, and for babies with infections due to the lack of washing facilities on this journey, which was becoming longer and more tiring all the time. A feeling of helplessness overwhelmed me as I realised that I would be unable to help them all that evening. But this led me to ask for help at the health centre, which assists these people who have travelled from distant lands. Amazed at the blessing of being helped by a woman who had been touched by that Bible passage which tells of Jesus when he washed the feet of those who followed him, a sign of humility, committed to serve, full of love, able to sacrifice one's life in favour of others. Baffled by my own feelings, I continued to help several more young men and children too. It was an inexplicable privilege to be able to express this love for my neighbour. As I continued to help, speechless once more, with a tender heart and tears in my eyes, and also the joy and happiness of living this experience. The fact that I could be amongst them without any sense of fear, that we could exchange looks and know that we were equals, breaking down barriers, stigmas, and 1,000-year-old differences which have separated our beliefs. Differences which have led us to situations like this, where a whole nation has to emigrate in order to begin a new life.